Hey everybody, I am here with Melissa Foy. Melissa Foy is a CCL graduate. She graduated the Content Creator Lab program or actually you started last June. So you're
Correct.
coming up on almost a year after joining the program. So you've got some experience under your belt. You're not a newbie like a lot of the people that I have graduated after, or I'm sorry, I've interviewed after graduating. So I'm excited to talk to you and just
Yeah,
hear about how
same.
things are going now. Can you
Yeah,
first just introduce yourself and share just a little bit about yourself?
sure. My name is Melissa. I live in Michigan. Married. It'll be 15 years next week, actually.
Oh, happy
Um,
anniversary.
Thanks. Two kids, 13-year-old and a now 6-year-old. His birthday was yesterday, actually.
Um,
So yeah, and basically just plugging along as a stay-at-home mom, but working stay-at-home mom,
yes.
kind of doing.
Managing all the things
Yeah,
that
yeah,
comes with
exactly.
that.
Yeah,
Okay, well, I want to jump into just a few questions just so we
sure.
can hear kind of how things are going, how your CCL experience went. I want to circle back to like at the very beginning. Basically, what was the problem that you were facing at the time that you decided to join the Content Creator Lab? What made you want to join a program like that?
Yeah. So basically what it was I had a career actually as a vet tech.
Okay.
Did that for a very long time, but started having kids. So then you go to part-time and you start figuring out, well, how am I gonna, kids start sports and things
Oh
like
yeah,
that. So just kind of
all
doing all
the
that.
demands.
So
Yes.
yes, yeah. And you want
Yeah.
to be home, but and it was just time for something different. And so I just needed something to still financially help, you know.
Totally
Um,
understand.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Did you have any experience then, like freelancing? Had you had your own business? Did you do any photography, anything related to this kind of niche before or no?
I've never done photography.
Mm.
Um, Terrible at social media. Things like that I never did. I did do a bit of once I stopped working as a vet tech, I did do some reselling, like eBay and Poshmark, kind of got into that.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah. It's a lot of work
Yes, I
and
can imagine.
yeah,
All the
not a
packaging
huge,
up and orders and
yes,
shipping and all the things.
yes, yeah. So I did do that a little bit. So I did kind of have my own business,
Okay.
Um, I will admittedly never say I've ran my books because my husband is a financial guy, so I
Oh,
don't,
that's
yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
That's a good
So
partnership
I can't
then.
exactly. So but yeah, kind of, being self-motivated and things like that, having that as your, working from home and having that as my job for a little bit, it definitely
Yes.
did kind of start, as my own business, for a little
Right.
bit.
Definitely. So what made you then choose content creation over any other kind of business that you could have done? So you were obviously doing
Yeah.
one business. What made you choose to jump into this?
Well, I hated reselling. It was absolutely terrible and I just had to be done with it, but I had to still financially help,
Yes.
because I didn't want to not contribute. And it's funny, my husband is a huge learner. He just is always learning, 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 learning. And I'm like, I don't have like time for that. And he sent me a video where you were doing an interview with Whitney
Oh,
Bond.
oh, okay. Yes.
And he was like, just watch this. I'm like, oh. So I popped it on. I'm doing the dishes, popped it on. I'm like, it like spoke to me. I was like, I feel like I can do this because my son has food allergies. So I have to
Okay.
create a lot of recipes for him to eat and,
Yes.
take places and things like that. So it's like, wait a minute, like I feel like I'm like doing some of this. And I'm like, okay. And so that's actually how it is. I saw your interview and I was
Okay.
like, I feel like I could do this. So he was
Yeah.
right.
A
But
lot of what we're doing. A lot of what we do, it's like that's the beauty of this. It's like you're already creating food for your family. All
yeah,
you have to learn is the photography skill and get an idea of what bloggers want to buy, and you can absolutely
yeah,
do this and then feed your family the things that you are creating,
right,
taking photos of.
right.
That's the wonderful thing about it. You
Exactly.
get to eat the
Yes, no one went hungry or without a treat for a very long time.
food. So actually, that leads me to another point. So we as content creators, we have the ability to create recipes, crafts, and printables and take photos of these projects for bloggers. But the majority of creators in this niche, they focus heavily on recipes. Some do niche down even further in recipes. For instance, they might, focus only on desserts or like cocktails, things like that. So
Yeah,
you have actually shifted your business so that you're mainly selling things like kids crafts and like hands-on learning activities, which I just think is so fun. So would you mind sharing some examples of just things that you have created and sold to bloggers, just so people at home can
sure.
get an understanding of what they actually buy?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You know what's funny about that is it started with recipes because I went into it like, oh, I'll do the recipes, allergy friendly, like maybe that'll be like
Yes.
a niche thing, um, things like that. So it started with the food and then it kind of coned down to like desserts. Those seem to
Mhm.
sell better. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. And then, it was interesting. Actually, the bloggers I was selling the desserts for, a few of them approached me and they're like, hey, would you do X? It was some sort of play something. Honestly, I can't remember the first one, but I was like, sure, I'll give that
Give
a
it a shot.
try. Yeah. And then it kind of like morphed into its own organic thing where it was like,
So
oh,
cool.
okay. Yeah. And so it's a lot of like hands on, super easy kids' crafts, that any person could do. Because if I can do it, literally
Yes.
any person at home, any mom can do it. If I can do it, any mom at home can do it. So
I've seen the things that you've created and some of the things that you've created, like, like homemade Play-Doh and like sensory bins and things like that. I've
yeah,
created too. And like, homemade like finger paint. And I love
yeah,
doing those kinds of things because not
yeah,
only is it like something my kids can like use later,
for
but
sure.
it's so fun. Like
It
I would
is.
even get like their hands in the pictures and like
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
great photography to sell too. So they didn't know it, but
Yeah.
they were like my little hand models and
I know. I know.
fun.
Yeah. Like it must have been winter break. My son, who's, I have a 13-year-old whose hands practically look like mine. She's doesn't look like a kid's doing
Yeah.
it. Um, but he'll pop in and I'll say, hey, buddy, come do this. I may pay him in like a sucker or something. I'm like, just come do this and you can have a sucker.
A
Like,
little
and he'll like
bribe.
do it or yeah. But it's
Absolutely.
funny because I have some clients that are like, could it have a kid hand in it? I'm like, sure, you have to wait till spring break because like a lot of times like the lighting is weird by the time he gets home. So I'm
Oh,
like, I
yes.
actually have to wait until the weekend or like that's fine, but
Oh,
we gotta
yeah.
wait. But
I mean, a
yeah,
lot of them are moms too. It's like
yeah,
they totally understand. They've got
for
kids
sure.
and yep, they work their business around their family just like we do.
Yeah, yeah,
But I love that
exactly.
you pivoted. So you gave it enough time where you were like, okay, you tested and you
Yeah,
noticed what sold well for you and you continued and eventually it molded into something that you probably never expected when you joined the program.
not in a million years.
And
No
it's the
way.
same with me. It's like, you've got to give it time to know, like with your style of photography and what you excel at, what's going to sell well for you, because what sells for you really well might not sell well for somebody else just because of the way that our brains work and our
Sure.
creativity and how we style things. So I love that you have found like your place and
Yeah.
you're doing so great. I just
Oh,
love it.
thank you.
It's such a
Thank
fun
you.
niche too. So you are coming up on 1 year, like I said, after joining the CCL program last June.
Mhm.
And a question I often get asked is, can creators do this long term? Is it sustainable? Do you personally see yourself continuing on in this business and having the ability to be successful long term?
Yeah, 100%. As long as there are blogs and Pinterest, there will be,
There's always a need,
a need for this for
right?
sure.
I
And
mean,
yeah, as
absolutely.
long as you keep evolving and changing and working with these great bloggers, there's always going to be. I don't see where or how it would stop
And
for
it's like
me.
you start to grow relationships. Like you start to know these bloggers after a while and they become repeat clients. I have had some
Yeah.
clients I've worked with for like most of the time I've been
Wow.
doing this and I've been in this niche for almost a decade. And it's like it's
Wow.
just continued to grow. There's more and more bloggers coming on scene and finding out that they can make money this way and hiring out freelancers to
Yeah.
help them with that photography portion. So
Yeah.
thank
That
you.
is
I see
one
this.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
just continuing to expand, basically.
Yeah. That's one aspect I didn't think when I like went into it. You're like, okay, I have to make and create and photograph and things like that. But like I wasn't thinking about the people and like, I mean, I've met some of the kindest people and,
Yes.
or say, oh, you're from Michigan. Have you ever been here? I've been here. And you
Right.
talk, my kids do this. And it's like you create such wonderful relationships. Or like
Totally
someone
do.
will send you a quick message. You're like, oh, it's so and so. I haven't heard from you in a while. And they'll say, it's just so nice. I mean, the people are incredible that I've worked with. I can't imagine.
I've
Um,
had the same experience. Yeah, just
yeah,
great people, and
yeah,
we share a lot of similarities, and yeah,
yeah.
it's been really good. And
It's
I'm glad
very
to
cool.
hear you've had the similar experience. So, what aspect? I've just got a couple more questions. What aspect of your CCL experience did you enjoy or benefit from the most, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say like through your course
Yeah,
was okay. With your course, just everything felt like it was right there for you. I liked how it was drip fed, that I could go at a good pace. I can revisit stuff because I'm really big about having to reread stuff or jot things down. Because I'm a writer. That's how I remember stuff. So I had like notebooks and things like that, that as I was going, I would jot things down. Um, and then honestly, after, just how accessible you are, which sometimes you're probably like, oh my
no,
gosh,
I love it. I like hearing from you and knowing you're
good.
working and that things are going well.
Yeah,
I'm happy to hear from you. So it's good.
good. Good. But I loved your very quick turnaround. You always have answered and gotten me through over humps and things like that, that maybe I had questions or concerns or just needed your thoughts as someone who has done it, because you kind of can't bounce that off of other people that haven't
Yeah,
done it.
unless they're in the niche, because what we do is such specific work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you always get that. I didn't know people did that. I get
Oh,
that
totally.
all the time.
Me too. All the time. It's such a like
Yeah.
behind the scenes thing that we do, and everybody just assumes that bloggers are doing all this work from home. But
Right.
once you realize like how big of a business blogging is and how much
Yeah.
goes into it, there's so
Oh my
much that
gosh.
goes into it. They have to when they grow. They have to hire some of that out because it's a
Definitely.
big project. It's a big
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And you're
Well,
like, happy to help.
yes, of course. So, what would you then say to somebody who is kind of on the fence? They've seen maybe an interview like you did online and they're kind of skeptical. What would you say to them
Yeah.
about joining the Content Creator Lab? Your advice,
I
suggestions?
I would say if you're remotely thinking about it, to just do it. Because I think a lot of people might think, well, I can't because I don't have X, Y, and Z experience. I literally had none.
Me
Like,
too. None.
like,
I
like
was
had
the
to
worst
create a
photographer.
Facebook post to even do anything. Like, like a profile. Like I didn't even have one of those. Like, I mean, it's just do it, because I guarantee you will figure out your thing or how
Yes,
where you fit in or what you want to
there's a
do.
place for you.
There really is. I mean, there really, really is.
Yeah,
And it's
most of
fun.
us.
It's easy. Like I know I jokingly said to you one time, I had a girlfriend I had to cancel something with, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I have to make cupcakes.
I
Like,
remember you saying that. I'm
this
like,
is my life
I've
right now.
been there.
I'm gonna make my cupcakes.
Sorry, I have to stay home and shoot my cupcakes today. I'm too busy.
Right? Right.
It's like it's hard to believe that what we do, sometimes it's hard to believe that it's even work because it is fun.
Yeah,
And it's
it
like
is.
most jobs, it's not
Yeah.
creative and fun and you're in your own home. So it's like
Yeah.
you're in such a low pressure niche.
Hmm.
So it's just great in so many
For
ways.
sure. Yeah. I mean, I've been mid shoot and had a sick kid where you're like, okay,
Yep,
it's not like, hold on, I got to call someone in. I got to drive there. Like, we're right
totally.
down the road from school. And you're like, okay,
Yep.
I'll be
You've
right
got to
there.
wrap up and either finish it later. Totally. I mean,
Right.
I've done
Yeah.
this since before I had my girls. So throughout that whole time, they've been home with me and I've had the same experience. And that's the beauty
Yeah.
of it. There's so much flexibility in your schedule. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it really works around your life. So
It does. It does. It's the perfect job for stay-at-home moms, or
yeah.
you want to do something and, it's just wonderful. Even with the kids helping, let's say you do that, or even them eating the treats when you're done or the dinners. I mean,
That's their
everyone's
favorite part.
included.
And ours too. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Melissa, for joining me
Yeah,
today and taking time out of your day just to sit down and chat for a little bit. I truly appreciate
absolutely.
it and hearing your
Yeah.
whole
Well,
experience. And I'm so happy that your business is continuing to grow and do so great. I love that.
thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate all your time and your constant, still being able to be reached after and
Oh,
things like
absolutely.
that. I really appreciate you
I
always
love
taking that
staying in
time to.
contact.
Good,
All
good. Well, I
right. Well,
appreciate
thank
it.
you. You have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you
Thank
soon.
you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye.
Bye.